Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here, once again to do another Dead Rock review, Chapter 11, Deep Cry, in which this chapter will follow up from the last event where, let's see, the members of Class F, particularly Yakoto, Yakuto, and Frey, and Hanin, acquired the, let's see, Book of God's Roots, but at the cost of like Hien's life being killed by the vice principal after he tried to avenge his friend from that was like his senior. I've forgotten his name. Hold on, let me just get the chapter's name. Cougar, yeah, it was Cougar. So yeah. Anyway, the vice principal is pretty much angry that the students managed to trick him to taking their book, and now we're going to see how he tries to get the book back, and how he will try, and if the students are members of Class F are able to find out whether or not they if they find out whether or not they found God's weakness in the root. Anyway, no Lucky Chi, as you can probably tell. I'm hoping to do a discussion with him next week, but for now, onto the chapter. Anyway, chapter 11. Before we got that, let's see, Deep Cry. We've got, like I said earlier, we've got like a cover thing with the character profile of Saru, the monkey sage teacher that's now replaced let's see, replaced Class F's tutor Maxwell after Yakoto. Let's see, Yakoto and after Yakoto brutally murdered him. Anyway, we've got his root as the Great Sage of Heavens. I think this might be a reference to the Jenny to the Wind, or the monkey sage thing from like the inspired Dragon Ball. Let's see, his status is equal. I assume that is to imply since he doesn't really have a class, he's just been ranked as equal. It says he likes, let's see, bananas, which is probably typical of a monkey, but he dislikes Monk Sazang, and in the dot star thing it says a character from Chinese literature who had a monkey spirit as a disciple. So it seems he dislikes that term of fiction, or there might be an actual monkey, Zhang, let's see, San Shang in the Dead Rock universe. But anyway, the notes say that, let's see, the teacher put in charge of Class 1F after Maxwell died. He teaches history in addition to his ability to summon boulders. He can apparently perform a number of other mysterious techniques. So yeah, it's pretty much stuff that we pretty much know, as we saw him do the boulders, I think, on Class 1F when Yakoto was getting his punishment. Anyway, nothing new except maybe he likes bananas and he hates a monk Zazang. But anyway, speaking of the character, he appears in the first panel of the chapter saying that he's got a job for Class F, which surprises the students, since you have Chaco saying, "Aren't we like students?" and Honey doing his "Are you stupid?" quote with their teacher Zaru saying that Dead Rock students take requests from people around the demon world, and it's one of the thinks and tells them that it's extracurricular lessons that students do. With then you get I believe Mikoto just saying like, okay, what do we need to do? With the teacher then saying it's a request from an old lady who lives deep in the forest, saying that she has trouble from bandits and she wants them to be driven out, as we get some shadowy figures of bandits. Frey getting excited at the idea of rooting out bandits. With Chaco going like, wait, are you talking about this old lady? Is it possibly Margot Mage, the Zeal Wizard, as we see some sort of gecko-like elderly wizard lady? And the teacher Zaru says, yeah, that's pretty much what it says as the name. And this gets Chaco excited. And Yakuto asking if he knows her. And she says that she's a super famous wizard. Of course, know her. She's a super famous wizard. Of course not. Saying that, yeah, she wouldn't know her. Going like he wouldn't know her personally. And Hani goes like, the old lady who's in trouble. With her going like, why can't famous people be in trouble too? Pretty much at this response. And she says that, and she whispers to Yakoto that she could probably break the seal on the book. As we then cut back to a little flashback saying 3 days ago at the Dead Rock dormitory, with Yoko trying to open the book, but complaining that he finally got it, but he cannot open the book. Frey says, "Want me to try burning it?" And he goes like, "It's a book." And then you got Raisin going, "Want me to try cut it?" "It's a book." And Makoto says, "Oh, you could try killing it." And then Yoko getting more annoyed, going like, "It's a book." With Hani going like, "Are you stupid?" Which I think is Ritzy justifiably earned when it comes to what those three suggested. With Yokota saying that there's a seal, and apparently saying that it's sealed with a powerful let's see, magic dominant. Let's see, dormant. Oh, actually, it's damn it. Sorry, I misread. Poor, so forgive me for that bit. Anyway, we cut to like as we get a complete shot of the Dead Rock School, and then we cut back to like the present day. It's Chaco getting excited that they could maybe possibly answer the book as well as meet a famous legendary wizard, telling others to get moving. Much to the surprise of the others, well, actually, we don't really see their facial reactions. And then as they're leaving, Zara ends up saying that let's see, with Yokota looking around, saying, "If any of you die, I'll pick up your bones for you." Maybe implying some sinister, something that sinister is going to happen here. And anyway, we cut to this like deep cry forest where we end up seeing a sort of like swampy, like itsy forest with a bunch of death around it. Well, at least we see one skull, but it looks a bit more, let's see, menacing that you would normally find in Hiro Mashima's work. We see some sort of monstrous snake, a bunch of birds flying in the air, with them going like how one of them shouting how they're through it. One of them shouting like, "What's with the creepy plants?" And one of them thinks it's beautiful and poisonous, and I assume that's Mikoto. With Hani going says, "Why don't we check the old lady's place first?" With Chaco saying, "Say her name." Let's see, we're calling her Magomi-sama. You dirty dog, in annoyance of what Hani is saying. Yokota looks about, and then Freud asks what's wrong with him, and he says that's something that's really bothering him. Thinks that it's a bit too convenient, with Raisin going like, "Oh." Saying how with the book sealed, and now there's a request from someone who could possibly undo the seal. Wondering, can that really be a coincidence? But Chaco just thinks that he's overthinking it and saying that there's no way that Magomi-sama would set us up. At least she doesn't think, which yeah. And then shows them that there's some weird thing here. As we see a sort of like giant temple-like gate thing, which is apparently called a level gate, as Yakugo explains, asking what it's doing here. With her asking what it is, Raisin says that saying, "Haven't you used one to go through between the levels of the demon world?" But she says that she was born on level 666, so she figured there'd be stairs between the levels or not. Etsy thinking that they must be saying that with her with letting someone explain that there can be thousands of miles between levels. With then Hani going like, "Are you stupid?" With her then saying, "You can use these to go to whatever levels you want." With Mercato saying, "Well, in practice, you need a passage permit." And then saying the gate will only open if you choose, will only take you to the corresponding level. With Frey going like she's never seen one in the middle of the forest before, though. And the student's saying that it looks like it hasn't really been used in a while. with someone wondering if they've been thrown away, and with someone asking why would it be thrown away if it's huge. Anyway, Hani gets attacked by an arrow, breaks to pieces, shocking Yokota, and Shako going like, again? Mikoto just goes like an arrow. And then we see a bunch of more arrows flying towards them. And, well, a bunch of light, well, maybe not arrows. Arrows. And, wait, hold on, let me just get a closer look. No, actually, it's a bunch of lights. With Ryzen going like, are these the bandits? With Frey getting excited, thinking that if they're coming to us, that must be their lucky day. With Yakuto saying they're targeting us from the trees. With Mikoto smiling, which seems to be the case, or well says so it seems. And someone's heard, let's see, horde of undead zombies, and they start climbing the trees. And eventually they start to reach the victims, which then you can hear their screams and shouting, ah! Going like, what are these things? Ah! With us saying crafty, with Raisin says her power is gross as ever. With Chaco saying, here they come, monsters, as we see, there's some sort of like humanoid beings with some sort of symbols on them for faces. Yokota tells Frey to get back, but she says she's super fired up. But Yokota explains that this is a forest, and if she uses her fire, implying that if it does, she causes a massive wildfire. With Hani saying, why can't you just put me back together? Let's see, instead, where she says, okay, fine, I'll help you. With Raisin saying, let's go, Yakuto, and he agrees, and they start slicing and slashing with their sword and claws, just like a bunch of the bandits. And you can see they work quite well together as a team. You have Mikoto smiling with her undead horde, taking out the other remaining bandits, with the two of the bandits saying, like, what the heck are these guys? Going like, are they strong? Saying that that's not what we were told, but before they could finish, they end up being killed and eaten, I think. And you see all the remains left on the floor, with Raisin saying that we took care of them all, with Yakuto saying that's good work, with then Mikoto saying, is our job finished now? With Yokota saying that was easy. And Frey says that's all good here, but Hani is clearly not fine, as she's just put together him in all wonky and even added a bunch of tree branches and mushrooms to it. And him going like, you made a mess of me, are you stupid? With Yakuto saying now we should just head to Requester's home. And we see a little mushroom house. A house with a bunch of mushrooms on. Particularly a giant mushroom on. Yokoto's excited, thinking like, oh look, it's a legendary seal wizard Margot's house. She's so nervous that she see right there, but she's shocked as then the rest of them shocked as we see that the wizard Margot has been nailed to her door, clearly killed. With Yakoko wondering if that is that, and there's someone that confirms that it is, which I assume is Yiti Yakoto. With him asking what happened, with Frey asking if she's dead. You get Yakoto crying, saying, who could have... starting to cry, and tries to ask Mikoto to please turn her into a zombie so that she can remove the seal on the book. Mikoto agrees to do that, but before that can happen, a giant hand covers the entire house, and we see that it's the vice principal. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can get... let me just see if I can find the teacher's name. Characters. Oh. Class D. I believe it is Bren. Yeah, it's Bren. The vice principal, Bren. Yakoto go. Let's see. Chaco goes how he's I'm not going to say the word. Curses at him, the B word, pretty much. with Frey wondering if he killed her too, with the principal saying that they can't just take books out of the bribery, with Koto saying, "Is this job you're doing too?" Which he says, "Of course it is," saying that it would be easy to kill you all at school, but he needs to retrieve the book without God finding out. With Yokota saying the bandits were sacrificial pawns. With Yokota saying that everyone should please steer themselves. If we don't defeat the demon teacher Bran here, they won't make it back alive, as it seems they're all preparing for battle. While Yokota holds the book and Hanny's back together again. With Mikoto saying like they don't really have a choice from the looks of it. And Raisin talks about how he doesn't really have anything to do with this. Frey's saying with the old lady's gone now, so she's wondering if she could burn the whole forest down, right? And Yokota says like, "I'll avenge his son." With the principal going like, "Goodness me, it seems like you don't understand the might of those known as the Form Demon Teachers." As he starts to transform, saying that they're given the title because they are nearly as powerful as like God. With Hannilan looking shocked at the gigantic form that he says as the Vice Principal says, saying, "Gigant form," and then shows himself to be a now one-eyed demon giant monster. Which I can't tell if it might just be smoke at the back, but we see pretty much two giant arms. I don't think we even see his legs, but yeah, seems like a cape around. He looks like a gladiator, and gladiator cape. Some like a gladiator with a cape, pretty much, with one eye and flame heads. As he declares, "Now then, let's begin our lesson." And it says on the arm apparently says "Divine Punishment for Wicked Saints," and the chapter ends with this cliffhanger as Class F now deals with this monster. Anyway, overall thoughts. Okay, so we end up learning that Dead Rock School actually gives students missions to assign. In many ways, it's pretty much like the missions you'd probably get from like it's pretty much, it seems to be a little bit similar to like the missions that you would do in like the fairy tale world for guilds, but with like instead it's students with that get extra curriculum. So it's sort of like which I will admit is it's a bit standard for Hero, but on the one hand, I do like how they say it's like extra curriculum, which it's a way of getting students to do more work. I do like how the students question it, since it's like, aren't they supposed to be like students in a school? So I do like that. Granted, it's a bit cliche, but it does give us a chance to, of course, end up exploring outside the Dead Rock School and seeing the demon world a bit more, as that is one of the downsides of like being in a school, is that you can't really if you're set in a school, you can't really see the rest of the outside world. I mean, one of the biggest problems with the Harry Potter franchise is that you got so much world building within the Hogwarts that outside of the Wizarding world, it's not really that interesting. But that's also because I think some of J.K. Rowling's problematic writings, particularly with like when she has wizarding schools where people from multiple countries go to one particular school, particularly in countries that they have a very hostile relationship with, which is a kind of like JK either being ignorant or perhaps being a bit, either J.K. Rowling's a bit ignorant on these subjects, or she has a very problematic mindset. But which some people would probably assume the latter, given views on trans people. But anyway, enough. Not talking. We better move on from the subject of J.K. Rowling. Yeah, it is a sort of like a nice little quest, and we end up learning one of the famous mages there. Or land one of the famous mages in the demon world, this Margot Me, which gets Charco to fangirl, which is quite interesting that she seems to admire this one and thinks that, okay, it's good opportunity to try and unseal God's book of his root book. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself there. Anyway, the mission is pretty much just stop bandits. It's pretty much your typical minor or mini quest or quest that you would probably get at the start of a game, taking out a bunch of basic bandits. But that's fun, which is not really that much original, but it's fine because that was used as more of a lore for to bring the characters in Class F later in. But yeah. Anyway, I do like how Frey gets excited for it because that's in her character. But anyway, speaking of the whole she could unseal the book, we end up seeing a flashback that due to the flashback we end up learning that just because someone can acquire God's roots, God's weakness from the book, from his book of his roots, there's been a seal placed on it, which arguably is probably pretty smart. It's because it's which is smart from God. It's okay. And probably makes up for any criticism I believe I might have said about, okay, why on earth would you have a library that can get any book, including your weakness God? But it seems like he at least some of the 4 demon teachers have at least prepared some precautions if someone attempts to do that, and which is, of course, have a seal placed on the book, which no one can get out, which can get it open without some powerful magic. But anyway, I do like the sort of rule of 3 comedy here when you get 3 of the students, particularly Frey, Raisin, and Mikoto, going let's burn it, let's cut it, let's try killing it, to try and opening using what they were normally doing their fighting styles. But Yokota tries to remind them each time, getting more annoyed that it's a book. And for once, I have to agree with well, granted, I probably agree with Hani a lot that but even though this is probably a repetitive catchphrase, this one is very fitting because it's all 3 of them suggest, methods of opening a book that would end up destroying it, not opening it. But yeah, so I think that was pretty funny. Anyway, it's interesting how the teacher says, if any of you die, I pick up your bones in a sort of menacing ways. But it makes me wonder if he is aware that it's actually a trap set up by the vice principal, or he has a feeling about it, or he's in on it. We don't really know. Now, granted, since he's a teacher, he would arguably be on God's side. He would not be on Class F's side if they try to kill God, and arguably, yeah. But he seems anyway, it seems like he's expecting them to die. Whether or not he knows about the full details about the mission, or it being set as a trap, or thinks that one of them might just die as a possibility, it remains to be seen. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how long this character's going to be a teacher for Class F or not. But yeah. Anyway, I do like Hiro Mashima's design to the forest. Like I said, it's sort of more darker version of the forest with gritty dark creatures and black mists coming out. So yeah, it's a bit more of a horror vibe, if you will. But yeah. Anyway, I do like how Chaco gets so annoyed whenever someone mispronounces Lady Margot's name. But I do like how at this point Yokota suspects that this seems all a bit too convenient. Was okay, we've got God's book, and now we learn that there's someone that can actually undo the spell. Thinks that, okay, could it possibly be a bit too convenient? Maybe thinking that it could possibly be a trap, which we know is right, but unfortunately for him, Chaco, who seems to be just too blinded by his admiration of the mage Margot, is there's no way she'd set us up for a trap, which she never considers the possibility that someone else is setting a trap for them. But yeah. But anyway, we end up also learning about these level gates, which apparently how people travel and get to one level to the other. And we also learn that Chaco doesn't really know what they are and thought people just got up through stairs for the realm. and apparently she's also lived in let's see level 666, the demonic numbers, if you will, for like her entire life, which may be the first hint of her backstory and maybe one of the reasons why she wants to take out God. Something to do with her home, but yeah. But yeah. So but she gets explains what it does, but yeah. But something tells me that this gate is going to be a Chekhov's gun that is going to be fired at some point during the next few bits of this, this little forest and mini arc, if you will. My best guess is that the students will use it to try and teleport out of here when they realize they can't take it down the vice principal in the fight, but I could be wrong. But yeah, but arguably it'll give us probably more chance to explore the world of Deadrock at the very least, or at least the demon realm of Deadrock. So I'm up for it. But yeah. But anyway, let's see. One thing that I'm starting to see is a bit of a running gag that might be a bit funny, but I think it's going to get a bit annoying. Is that Hani keeps getting smashed to pieces and then having to be rebuilt together, which is a shame because I do like let's see, would like to see more of Hani's fighting style, but it seems like for the moment, every fight he gets into, or like whatever place he goes, he gets smashed to pieces, which is a bit annoying. Granted, he probably should double check, but I assume that Hani at least took part in killing some of the Class D students, or at least took part in the fighting against the infected zombies with one of the 4 demon teachers. But yeah, it's been a while since I read the chapter, so I can't recall. But at the moment, yeah, given the last arc in the library, he was smashed to pieces, and now again. I have to agree with Chaco and Annoyances, like, again! But who knows? I'm hoping at the very least Hani will get some fight, but I have a feeling that he's going to end up being smashed to pieces a few times before that actually happens. And I do like how Mikoto uses the zombies to take out the bandits, having them climb trees and all that. So yeah, I do like how they also try to prevent Gritty Frey from joining the fight because her fire powers are too deadly for a forest. Instead, task Mitzi her to put back Hanani, which of course doesn't work, and I found that funny. It's like, hey, you put a mushroom on him, and it's like, oh, you stupid, this is wrong. Wait, hold on. But yeah. Sorry, I just sneezed there. But yeah, pretty much gets annoyed at calling her stupid for making a mess. But anyway, one thing I kind of like in this chapter is also you get to see let's see, Raisin and Yokoto working together to take down a bunch of bandits and slashing them, maybe for even a few panels, but they're working well together as a team. And despite the fact that one of the previous cover info things reveal that Raisin hates Yokoto, he's at the very least willing to work with him. So yeah, maybe there's room for them to have a growing friendship down the line, but at the very least, even if he dislikes Yokoto at the moment, sorry for the mess about. I'm just changing positions, but yeah. But even though that he might dislike him, he's at least willing to work together in a team with him. So there is that. But I do like how the bands give a hint that they've been hired to someone to take them out. Let's see, but they were. But they didn't realize. But they were not told how strong the students of Class F strengths were, so they were pretty much set up as they were. It was later revealed, of course. But yeah, anyway, I do like the sort of design for the house, the mushroom on the head of it. And I do like how let's see, Yokoto's getting so excited, but only to be just shocked and disappointed when let's see, the wizard Margot ends up being nailed, which I will admit, that is dark. That is dark. Being nailed to a door, that is extremely dark. I will admit, props to Hiro for doing something dark like that. I mean, it's a bit chilling. Gives since I think this might be, even in some ways, might be one of the darkest things I've seen Hiro ever do. Which it's a bit chilling, I get, since usually Hiro's art style's a bit more for light-hearted featured adventures. Though granted, this Dead Rock is not lighthearted feature. At the very least, it's a lot more brutal than, let's see, Hero's other work. And this page of like Margot being nailed to like a door just shows us how dark the series is. So yeah, I do like how Chaco tries to say that to make her to just bring her back as a zombie because that's the only way they're going to be able to undo the seal. But before that can be happen, and what was explained last chapter, let's see, the vice principal just smashes her completely before that could happen, which I think that's what he was probably planning to do once students had arrived to like Margot's place. But yeah, I do like how menacing in the background, in the silhouette he looks when he's just doing his giant smash hand thing. But yeah. But I do like how the students quickly deduce that they set him up, and like and he's annoyed that they took a book out of the library, but saying that I do like the vice principal's logic, saying like I could probably kill you in the school, but God would probably find out, and he doesn't want to have that, showing that probably giving hints that if God found out that the vice principal lost like his book with his weakness to a bunch of students, he would be sorry, I'm just moving about. He would be extremely probably annoyed, maybe even angry enough to kill the vice principal. We don't know how it would react to like losing that book, but yeah. But pretty much the students realizing once that the vice principal is here to try and kill them, they prepare for battle. Even those like Mikoto and Raisin who really have want nothing to do with like this God's killing God plan, at the very least for the time being, feel like they have no choice. So it's like, okay, you're gonna get all class F to work together, which arguably I do like how Hanin is now fully repaired afterwards. So hopefully that means that my earlier criticism of Hanin getting a pretty smash all the time means that you'll get a fight this time against the vice principal, even though it was with a group, though granted it could be possible that he gets smashed yet again. But yeah. But I do like how I'm afraid going like now that the force is gone, perhaps she can go out. So showing that the only reason she held back is because their client was here, but now that the client is dead, or like the mage is dead, she can just burn everything. So yeah, we're going to probably see a bit of her firepower. But I do like how Yokota decides that he's going to try and avenge Heen's son. Now, granted, I still don't think that he is permanently dead, or actually dead at all, and will come back at some point during the series, as I do think the vice principal will be his final opponent, though I could be wrong in that regard. For all we know, he could be taken out now, which will surprise me because if I had to guess, he's the second strongest behind God in terms of the school faculty. But speaking of strength, we end up learning that from the vice principal, that the 4 demon teachers are extremely powerful. When he goes like to the students, you don't really know the strength of us demon teachers yet. Saying that the reason they're implying that, showing that that they were revealing that they are given those titles because they are nearly strong as God. So it shows that, given what we've seen of God so far, especially easily taking out Yokota in his dragon form, that the fact these 4 demon teachers are extremely powerful, maybe just below him. They're like the ultimate subordinates, but we end up seeing a bit more of like the vice principal's form with like that new giant monster gladiator with one eye with black flames for hair, and back hair if I had to guess. But yeah, arguably I found that quite menacing, and I even like the little speech bubble bit where it says "Arm divine punishment for wicked saints" on his like tattooed on his I believe right arm. And he's going like let's begin the lesson now, showing that he's going to do like some sort of threatening lesson. Arguably he's probably going to kill them all, at least try to kill them all. But yeah. But now for that he's turned into that monstrous form, it's going to be a lot harder for the students, and they might not be able to win. So they might end up being forced to give back the book properly this time. But yeah, either way, it's a pretty good hype moment. Overall, I'll probably give this chapter an 8 out of 10. A bit cliche with the whole going on quest missions and taking out bandits. And I'm a little annoyed that Hanin has become a bit of a recurring gag, like besides stupid, just breaking to pieces. But there's a bunch of stuff that I do like, how learning that God's weakness with his root in the book has like a seal to make it shut, which is probably a smart move by the gritty god of the school faculty. Raisin and Yakoto working together. Chakugo's fangirling over this Maggie Mage, actually exploring outside the Dead Rock School. Possibly teachers in or not on the vice principal's actual true motives of luring class F out. And just seeing Mage Marco's death and vice principal revealing that he set up the whole thing. And of course his gigantic form with like class F about to fight him. Arguably, pretty good chapter, I'd say. Yeah, overall, that's all I have to say. For those who end up listening to this review, I hope you enjoyed what I had to say about Dead Rock Chapter 11. I'm looking forward to reviewing the next chapter when it comes out next month. But hopefully before then, I can discuss like all last 4 previous chapters with Lucky Chi. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber, signing off. Thank you for listening, everyone, and goodbye.